No. That's why I have her on my side. Communication is always very important. So, as you know, my name is Bernhardt. I am the business unit international coverage managing director in charge for the global development of Europcar Mobility, mainly looking after our 130 franchise countries around the globe, as well as our 5 alliances partners, which we have. You have heard about that in the US, in Canada, Japan, China, and lately also in India. And then we have what we call the GSA, the Global Sales Organization, where the lady who's in charge of it is also reporting to myself. So that's a little bit of an intro to the two of us, trying to make the best out of you so that we can increase all our sales, and have a win-win situation on both sides. I think that's the most important part of it.
Okay, as you know, I'm calling from São Paulo. I'm half German, half Brazilian. I live in Brazil after 21 years again. I'm dedicated for my developing the car rental industry in Brazil. So, I'm partners from Europcar since 1998. So, pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have you also on board on this project, because we are trying to share our visions and hear visions about the future of rental car, about the future of mobility. In fact, we have common names, and we decided 20 years ago to use our mobility name to compare rates. We are in fact a broker, a specialist for car rentals, not just car rentals, but also chauffeur service and luxury cars. And we are dedicated for travel agents and customers and companies that are in Brazil, now also expanding to South America. And we have, since 1 year, we have this campaign of Futuro Rent-A-Car, basically just trying to understand all the movements from stakeholders and from players on the market, how the development of technology, how the intersections of mobility profiles will convert. And you are a clear example, a company that is trying to reinvent also rent-a-car. You also adopted a new name for your group, and also trying to put under this big umbrella all the brands that you are doing. So basically, also to talk about this campaign, we are talking to players on the market. Also had an interview with the VP BMW that is in charge of the driving. We will visit him in Germany soon. In September, we will be in Germany for 2 days, visiting startups, companies like you, also Mercedes, BMW, Mahle, and other companies that are involved in mobility. And this is a campaign, this is a gamified campaign for our clients that can take part. And our best clients are already receiving gifts during the campaign. And at the end, the special attraction, attention, the main goal of the campaign is to make this reward of the trip. Last year, we spent a week in Silicon Valley. Very interesting. Next year, probably Israel or China. So that's about. I prepared some questions in order to go through. I don't expect to go more than 20 minutes, so I hope you are okay with this. And first of all, I want to hear from you about your recent development in the corporate, all the corporate companies, all the structure from Europcar, that you have acquired so many brands. What's the strategy behind, and what is the recent development from all these movements that you are doing?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, sometimes the connection is maybe not so good, so I try to speak slowly as well, because, okay, Brazil is not just next corner, so I think that's why maybe we have a little bit of some hiccups. I think, first of all, it is important for everybody to understand that our group has been Europe's leading car rental company for almost more than 70 years now. And we are one of the major players in the mobility sectors. We used to say that our car rental company, we built the fundamentals of the usage and sharing economy into our core business, which is mobility. And a long time ago, it was that we were a car rental company. And that's why also when you see the different logos we have changed it in mobility, because car rental, it doesn't mean that car rental is completely out, but car rental is not anymore the focus in our company as we have become a mobility provider. So we can say from a car rental specialist, which the group has been, we have become a global provider of mobility solutions, where we offer different and wide ranges of services. Thinking about vehicle rental, still, chauffeur service, car sharing, scooter sharing lately, as we have been acquiring a scooter startup company, and also, of course, peer-to-peer car rental, which I think is quite important that this is known and understood by everybody. So in the last few years, the group's growth strategy has been specifically addressed with a number of acquisitions, as you rightly said before. Some of those acquisitions allowing us to diversify our activities beyond what we call the historical car rental business, and we grow also our footprint because of that. So these brands, and what you rightly said, this includes brands like Iveco, a European start-up company specialized in car sharing, Brunel, which I think you have heard about, the provider of chauffeur services, and more recently, the group also bought, as I said before, Scooty, which is a scooter sharing startup. So we are today clearly a mobility service company with a very strong capacity to meet customers' mobility needs, be it for 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, maybe even longer. Really depends on customers' needs. I think that's the biggest change, where I think we are on the upfront in our industry to realize that we need to address customer needs in our mobility strategy for the upcoming years. So we offer a wide range of solutions, as you are aware of, with the vehicle rent, chauffeur service, and car sharing, and of course the peer-to-peer service. So from this point of view, I think this gives you a little bit of an idea that the transformation the company has gone under over the last couple of decades has dramatically shifted now into this way where Europcar stands for mobility solutions.
Interesting, very interesting, but I imagine that you have many challenges, technology challenges, and also all these big umbrella of new brands that you are trying to communicate. Because when I visit you at the trade show like WTM or ITB, you are already communicating all these brands with the bigger brand of the global mobility group. How are you communicating this to customers? Is there a hidden intention also to communicate this to all your clients?
Well, I think you're talking about two things. One is that how do we communicate the European Mobility Group name overall, and then what is behind it. So I would say, of course, a new name as a group is the expression of diversification of a company. And the global mobility provider as we are, that's what we have done. It's a corporate brand. I think that's important to understand. It's not a commercial brand, talking about Europcar Mobility Group. And therefore, it's the umbrella of what we say today, 4 commercial brands, what we really have. And you can also compare it a little bit with Accor. The hotel industry, Accor, is similar. You don't have any Accor hotels. It is exactly the same. It is a commercial brand. It's a corporate brand and not a commercial brand. And we have exactly done the same because of the fact that we were forced with all those different brands not to give wrong impression to customer that everything is managed by Europcar, which is a standalone brand in the market for over 70 years. So The challenges, of course, after that are, of course, that we need to make sure that customers understand the different brands and that they really will realize what exactly needs to be done and how they can accept the services which we're going to provide.
Okay, so it's interesting that you are comparing a benchmark, which is Accor, and certainly they are very efficient in this. But certainly, the difference of hospitality and mobility, it's this will be definitely the biggest challenge in the next 30 years of all the disruption in terms of mobility. Because when you rent a room, it's quite easy. The problem is that cars are moving, and so. But coming to the next point, are you also like Accor, putting one marketplace? Will be one website in the future for all the brands?
I think that's definitely a good and very valid question. I think it is important to understand there's a clearly a will to progress in that direction, and that all what we have built up, and by the way, we have 9 brands overall, but we are talking about 4 core brands, which is Europcar, Goldcar, Interend, and Ubico, that with those brands being, let's say, available in 130 countries, in 3,600 stations, over 50 digital touchpoints, we will facilitate this approach, of course. That's our ultimate goal and our aim to do so. And that's part also of our just lately announced roadmap, which we call Shift, which is a roadmap 2020 to 2023. And those points are specifically mentioned there as well, which are a high priority for the whole organization of the Europcar Mobility Group.
So you are answering basically my next point is what is the biggest challenge that you are facing right now? You have this, milestones for the next years, this vision. This is probably the biggest issue that you're dealing every day. What is the main challenge?
I think it's difficult to say the main, because in today's world and having this kind of huge global network what we have with now all those different brands, of course, without saying anything people do not know, challenges will be to make sure that our customer experiences are seamless everywhere where they travel, whatever brands they're going to use. Now, at the moment, of course, we are developing all those brands, and not all those brands are yet available in the network of our 130 countries. So one of the challenges is definitely that this is something we have to work on. We have to make sure that we are getting all those brands established, and this will take some time. The other challenge, again, is the traditional model of owning a car is challenged, as you know, because it's neither cost-effective nor if it's responsible for the environment. So we need to provide alternative solutions. And this is also one of the challenges which we are facing, of course, because we need to make sure what kind of solutions can we offer to our customers that we are still thinking on customers' needs. Apart from that, we have cultural challenges because we work around the globe. Not every country, not every area is dealing with these kind of things in the same way. So we need to adjust our philosophy also to cultural needs. The usage of the sharing economy is definitely something we need clearly to look into it, which is a challenge, but in a positive way. And the accessibility, that's key for us, that everybody can, wherever he is, whenever he wants, have access to a mobility solution. And clearly with the Europcar Mobility Group.
You mentioned one keyword that the industry will hear more and more, which is the seamless, frictionless, that people are reducing stress, reducing anxiety, because traveling, moving around, there's a lot of stress behind it. So this is the main challenge from my side, but I think technologies will be enforced, try to make conversion. So if you're moving from a scooter to your Europcar or to whatever other solution, that you have a seamless connect, like Uber is offering to us. you simply step out of the car without need of payment. So, this is definitely one direction of where cars are going, because you mentioned at the beginning that whatever, if it's minutes or hours or days, the rental, it's not anymore this concept of having a car for many days. You're already doing this. So, what's your vision behind this? How do you see car rentals performing in the next 5 years? Difficult to see 5 years in this horizon, because future is unpredictable. We can construct this construction everyday life. But how is your vision? What will be the car rental landscape in 5 years or 10 years?
Well, I think first of all, if I would know that, I would be a rich man. So I think it is, we are more keen to see what's going on and will be the future of the mobility industry as such, and be part of an influencer if we can. So what we can say is mobility is a big cake. As you know, everybody wants to have a piece of it. And car rental companies, fleet manager, OMAs, public transportation operators, platforms, even governments are trying to find out how they can make use of it. So I think it's not really to say how the future looks like. It's more, we are convinced that in the mobility space, no one can meet everybody's needs. And in all places, in all times, particularly when it comes to solutions and sustainable services, you need different partners. And we are definitely clear that we have a unique and central position in that. We know that with the variety and the diversity which we have, that we can definitely be part of that, and that it definitely goes, what I said before, into the direction that the seamless mobility approach, where everybody wants to have a transportation possibility, whatever transportation we're talking about, whenever he wants to have it and wherever he wants to have it, that we are definitely on the upfront to say this is where it goes. Now, we are not yet talking about autonomous cars and so on. I think that's all nice, people talk about that, but it's a little bit too far away. And everybody needs to dream, that's fine, we do that as well. But on the other hand, we need also to make sure that we are living today. And our scope, as you rightly say, is maybe the next 5 years. That's why our shift program, it's called 20 to 23. So the focus is really in this particular 4 years to really make sure that the company is going in the right direction, that we are not losing the momentum. What happens after that, nobody knows. But we are now, we are living now, and we are successful because we have done that in the past as well.
But certainly, coming to my last, we have just points more about these technologies. It's like in the current, in the BMW, for example, is investing a lot in technology, but some clients are not really recognizing the benefits of technology. It's like the phone industry. You have the simple phones and you have the luxury phones. You have these cars with all the facilities, but some clients, they're not really interested. But the market forcing them to invest more and more in technology. And it's our business, your business, is spending completely on technology. There's a lot of investment to make these benefits clear and available for clients. But it's also a challenge to show all these needs, because you said that you have different markets. China, you have India, you have Brazil, you have Europe, but you have also older clients, younger clients, more technology-affine clients. So it's a big landscape. So, but this is how do you communicate for each market? You communicate this vision of integration, it's seamless. And what is the answer to that?
Well, I think first of all, technology does not matter so far. I mean, that's a strong statement, but that's how we see it. It is what technology enables that is valuable. So we need to find out what exactly do we need to have, because your example about the telephone is exactly right. But sometimes you have the most sophisticated telephone and you don't know how to use it, it doesn't help you. So we need to make sure that we have easy, accessible tools in order to make sure that our customer can benefit from it. And at the end, as I said before, it's all about putting the customer in the center of our attention. And I think this industry has a lot done in the past, but still needs to go a long way to make sure that we are really putting our customer in the center of everything which we do. And we believe that we are, nobody is perfect, and we are definitely have also other things to do, but we are definitely on the upfront to make sure that customers are experiencing this. Now, answering to your question, it's not difficult to communicate new facilities, new services. If the steam from real needs and usages, or if these facilities can make our customers' life easier, and then it is not something which is limited to certain countries or certain continents, because at the end of the day, you are traveling from Latin America to the US, you're traveling to Europe, you're traveling to Asia Pacific, you would like, using the word again, a seamless experience, and you don't care on this kind of cultural differentiations. So we would like to have an approach which is given for everybody at the same time. So we think that by showing different programs which we have, Click and Go, for example, is one program, Connected Cars is another program which we use very heavily. Those are the things which are going to help us really to make sure that customers will benefit from using Europcar Mobility services. In a nutshell, we don't sell technology. I think that's important. We boost our platform capacity to deliver first-class solutions. That's what we stand for, that's what we do. And services to our customers, and we promote the benefits. The promotion of the benefits is key for a customer to understand why should they choose A versus B.
Do you have a specific market where you are experiencing, or do you have kind of a beta market where you are putting all the solutions together? For example, Avis is using this in Kansas City. They have these connected fleet concept, and in Kansas City they are already 100% of the fleet is connected, and they are trying to test with real clients some future solutions. Do you have some beta markets where you are trying to test your products?
Well, first of all, as we have the luxury of having corporate countries, as we say, which we own ourselves, and then we have the franchise global network. So whenever we do this kind of tests, as you say, beta tests, we use the corporate countries first, because that's where, from a risk point of view, first of all, it is our own kind of responsibility. And in order afterwards to sell it to the entire network of Europcar, where a franchisee, of course, is a different operator in a sense, we need to make sure that these kind of things are working heavily. And that's why I think we do exactly what you said, but not in terms of territories, or you mentioned the US, but we try to use our corporate size of it. That's important. And for example, with an example of connected cars, that's where in Mallorca, it's a place where we have been testing connecting cars now for a long time. And that when we see it works, then we will go to the next step. We have done that also with Überco, for example. Überco has been first launched in our corporate countries, and now the first franchise countries have now applied and will be delivered with the same kind of product.
All right. So I think that's more than enough to have a deep vision. A lot of I appreciate a lot your time, and also very interesting to see how this big company, this giant company, you are the market leader in Europe, and also growing a lot and very fast in other regions of the world. So pleasure to have you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure, and I think it will be important for everybody in the audience that Europcar is really the company to watch. Europcar Mobility Group, because of the different services we are going to deliver, and that we will definitely play one of the most important roles in the upcoming mobility world. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.